Hey guys, it's Railroader Cabal here in Clash of Legions to do a video commentary today. Now, I normally do like 1v1 VODs, but I had one of my clan members gave me an idea of like doing some kind of instructional video on specific strategies that the pro players, mid players, and even low players kind of do. So I started thinking about the kind of games that I played against multiple players, and you know, a certain type of strategies is involved in this game instead of just building like massive amounts of armies, because you do kind of have to have a little bit of micro and you have to use your brain a little bit. But there's also specific strategies involved in certain type of games and in certain situations that you can use to get to the advantage in game. So this game here, I chosen it was pre-patch, so it's not really it's still viable in this game, but the I'm gonna call this strategy here is like the Watchtower Rush, and the Watchtower is probably the most overused card in Clash of Legions. For one, it's like probably the best defense. Well, it's not really a it's a good like cheap defense against stuff like imp spam. And if you have enough of them, you could do a lot of damage against the imp spam. So a lot of pro players, what they do is they just place a. By the way, this game is paused for a second. This they place like a watchtower here behind their base so that they can guard against imp spam. And then when people thought that wasn't enough, they just kept their forces and all their units just around the goblins here just to keep them from defense. But even when you do like watchtowers, you can always use the watchtower as an offensive capability. So we're going to be playing. I'm playing in this game here against my clanmate Exodus TDK, and what we're going to be doing here is an instructional video on how to do not like a proper tower rush, but a tower rush in general. So first thing you do, take a goblin immediately out of the gate and then head it towards his base. In the meantime, I'm going to start construction on my refinery. You don't really need a refinery, but at the same time, you need some units on the map here because my deck back then was not that good. It was like all basic random units. So anyway, you have a goblin here, and then you knew exactly where the enemy spawn point was, and you start construction on a watchtower. Now you could start a watchtower out of the area of views or fog of war for some people, but I didn't know exactly what to expect. So I knew right away that the spawn points were very close. So I knew I can get away with this type of situation. So my watchtower is being built, and he just finished building his barracks. I think what he notices that their watchtower is in his base. Now he makes the stupidest decision. Well, not really the stupidest decision, but a decision that cost him, where he sent all his goblins off the mining lines to take care of my goblin. Now, what this does here is that it makes all the goblins try to destroy this watchtower because he doesn't have enough money to do any bang out anything from his barracks. He just starts to build something from his barracks right now. But in doing so, he lost like a handful of goblins. And I do manage to finish off. I think I counted 6 or 7 goblins off the line here. And what that does is it costed him mining time, and it's going to cost him even more, to get more goblins out in the field. So as you can see, his minerals is really low. And then he started just to rebuild more goblins from his castle. And he also started to build some more buildings or units out of his barracks here, which only he has one wolf rider. So that wasn't very good. Now, I thought I just started by keeping up the pressure with a couple of swordsmen, because what these swordsmen do is that they just keep the pressure on my opponent. Plus, I also had some imps in my deck, so that was something else here too. And I also had the blizzards. I just got unlocked the blizzards that time, so I might have used it instead of the fireball and see how well that works. So I got a couple of these swordsmen here, and I just decided to go around the map to see if anything was like coming my way, see if there was like a sneak attack of some kind that I missed. So it's very important in this game to keep the scouting up, because your area of vision is really basically on some units. And I also have a couple of imps here as well, just to scout. And going 2 directions can really confuse your enemy, especially since when they don't know which direction they're coming from. They could be coming from 1 direction, 2 directions, 3 directions, even 4 directions, depending on how many units you have. So I got these 2 imps in the top half of the map here just to see if he has another base going. I brought my 2 knights in here just in the back side of things so that they can do a little bit more goblin harassment. And he's really a little bit slow to like react to this sort of thing. So what I do here is I just fire off my support power, the blizzard, just to slow down the goblins, and then do a little bit more damage with my imps, and just destroy as many goblins as I can before something else happens. So as you can see, I destroyed maybe 3 goblins, 4 goblins, and he also has a couple of forces here. So he's getting a little bit frustrated. I can see that. So he just sends whatever units he has left, which is like 2 wolf riders, a gnoll, spearman, and 1 imp. But back at my base, I just started building more and more units. And I did place another castle just in case he didn't give up. So he scouted me, and then he notices that, oh my god, I have a knight here. So this knight took a lot of the brunt of the fire because those gunnols were basically his frontline unit, and then the spearmen didn't do a whole lot of damage. I did lose my knight, unfortunately, at some point in this match, but other than that, though, he was just too anxious. He didn't like really expect me to have that many forces at my base, and then he just wasted a lot of his time just to get that stuff. I didn't notice he built another castle, but that was okay because his economy was really low, and I basically just put a nail in the coffin here by attacking his base, and then he just gave up after that. So what can we learn from that type of situation? Well, if you tower rush, you can really screw up your enemy depending on how skilled he is. He could just do what Exodus did, was just send all his goblins and just destroy the tower right on sight. Although that can be good, and see how well it worked. He just got rid of that tower, but in doing so, he expended a lot of his goblins. But at the same time, though, if he didn't deal with that watchtower, I could have built another one and then fired on those goblins while they were mining so that he could do anything about it. So the main type of situation in this here is to scout. He didn't scout whatsoever. He just had goblins just building inside of his base because he thought that nothing would happen to him. So always scout, scout, scout. That's the name of the game here. Hope you guys enjoyed this instructional video, and I'll hopefully I can bring more in the future. My name is Railroad Cabal, and I'll see you guys on next time.